Welcome everyone. Let's get started. We're going to start seated in either Sukhasana, crossing our legs, an easy pose, or with your legs outstretched or kneeling, whatever is best for you. Let's cross one forearm over the other, making an X, and then touch the backs of the hands towards each other. You then interlace or weave around your little fingers. Press the ring finger and the thumb tips together to the sides. Interlace the middle fingers and then the index fingers as well. And one way to do this is to just check which way the fingers are weaving around. It can seem a bit complicated at first, but if I move my fingers around in one way, it feels very uncomfortable, and the other way is a lot easier for me. So just working that out for yourselves with the ring finger and the thumb tips touching, taking your hands to your heart. And if that feels a bit too complicated, you can just press your palms together in normal Anjali Mudra. This mudra creates a weaving of energy, cleansing and clearing from our meridians of our hearts and our lungs, and all the elements of our finger and thumb tips. And as we close our eyes, let's take 5 big deep breaths together. With an inhale, the count of 6, as you lift up with your breath, puffing up your lungs and swelling to the back space. As you exhale, softening down through your body, drawing lower belly in and noticing your hips, your legs, your feet to the ground. Inhale to lift up again through your body, puffing up the front of your body, lifting your heart, softening your shoulders. Exhale, softening down as you release, drawing lower belly in and grounding. Keeping that going and noticing the turning, the circle, the pathway of your breath. Noticing the journey and smoothing out any tension, possibly sighing as you exhale, relaxing your jaw, your throat, and noticing the breath to the back of your throat, as this helps calm down the nervous system with big, deep, equanimous breaths. And as we breathe through the back of our throat, it tones our vagus nerve, helping all of our system to be in harmony, in coherence with our heart and mind. Taking one more breath like this, please, with a big deep inhale, expanding as fully as possible. And exhale, softening, maybe sighing out, letting go. And then noticing your fingers and thumbs again and how they feel now, just before we release them, feeling the tingling of energy. Then releasing them, let's circle around our wrists a few times, maybe shimmer your fingers to release any tension. Taking your hands down to your knees, let's try seated cat-cow. With an inhale, lift our heart, soften shoulders back. As you exhale, rounding, draw lower belly in. Inhale to lift up again, like a wave through your body. Exhale to round and arch, feel the spine. Inhale to lift again, inviting freshness. And exhale to soften and soothe out, dropping out the tension. One more time as we inhale, lifting up through our heart, softening shoulders back. And exhale, rounding, drawing lower belly in, feeling into your core with your breath. Inhale to lift up again. Let's now turn the backs of the hands down, the backs of the wrists, and then maybe making some circles or half circles, just moving forward and back over the top of the wrist to put a bit of pressure on there and stretch that area of your body that we don't often stretch. It's good prep. And this may be it's available for you to move all the way around in your own kind of way, to do a big circle, trying to keep the backs of the wrists down as much as possible, and then just readjust your hands as you move them around. And maybe you can circle the arms the other way as well. Just noticing how your forearms, your elbows, your upper arms, your shoulders are all in this big spiral through the movement. And then let's come to a flat back with a straight spine again. Let's just twist to one side, simply taking one hand to the opposite knee and one hand to the back space. Noticing the back of your ribs, your body, having a big deep breath through the back of the body. Now exhale, coming to center. Let's turn to the other side, feeling into your heart, your rib cage, and all the way around again, softening the back shoulder, taking a big deep breath here once more. And now exhale, coming back to a center point. Let's now move one foot in our awareness just in front of us. And you can either keep the other leg as cross-legged or stretch it out straight, whatever feels the best way for you. As you move this leg and this foot, just taking a hand to the foot and then circling around the ankle. And trying to, again, just like we did with our wrists, notice the circle from your ankle up through your shin to your knee and up through your thigh to your hip. And then let's circle the ankle around the other way, noticing the spiral all the way through the other side. Maybe you notice the inner and outer edges of your leg as well as you circle around. We'll now press the foot forward, either holding on to the foot or hold on to your shin or your thigh, whatever is comfortable for you. Sitting with a long, tall, straight spine, softening your shoulders back. Bring it into the knee, moving towards your upper rib cage, towards the shoulder of that leg. And then we'll start to straighten the leg. Maybe it straightens fully or not so for you, whatever feels best. And bend it again. Doing that just a few times. Noticing this leg, going into the thigh and the hip. Great, let's now hug the leg in towards us again, crossing the shin across the body. And just have a sway, noticing your hip, giving yourself some love through to your hips as a great foundation for your movement. Great, circling or swaying a few more times the other way or in a different movement with this leg. And then let's press the foot down in front and maybe the other leg's still bent or it's stretched out if that's more comfortable for you, whatever feels best. With an inhale, reach up long and lifting up your hands. As you exhale, turn over that leg and take your elbow to the outer knee area or wherever it's comfortable for you. And we just twist again, going into the twist, feeling our belly moving towards the thigh of the leg that we're twisting towards. Easing the shoulders, lifting your heart. One more breath here. Great, let's come back to center and we'll go to the other side now. So lifting up the other foot and straightening or keeping the other leg cross-legged again as we circle the ankle of this other leg now. Noticing that circle moving from the ankle joint up through the shin, the knee, the thigh again. And how you're stirring a big pot of abundance, of golden energy through you. From your hips, from your pelvis, this pot of abundance, vitality. Circling the other way from your ankle, moving the ankle round, circling up to the shin, the knee, and the thigh, and the hip. And then when you're ready, just allowing the leg to be soft and draw it in a little bit again towards you, the long, tall spine. Let's now take the foot down to the ground. Either the other leg is crossed or straight out again in front of you. With an inhale, reach the hands up to the top, and as you exhale, turn to the side of the upper knee. Moving with your breath, turning round, twisting around the rib cage, easing the back shoulder. And let's notice our belly towards the thigh of that leg again. Bring into the twist through your rib cage. Each breath, one more breath. Inhale here. And exhale, coming back to center. Let's just lift this leg up one more time and hug it in towards us. Bring it into the hip now and rocking the hip a little bit from side to side. Noticing any difference on this side, any tension that needs to be moved out. And then reversing that rock a little bit or moving the leg in a different way to just open and free up, easing through. Great, I forgot this. Let's take our hands either to the foot or the shin or the thigh and press the leg away from us for a moment. As you exhale, maybe the heel and the leg straightens a bit more. And inhale, press the knee in towards your shoulder area of that side. Exhale, maybe stretching long through the leg. Inhale, bending the knee again, and one more time. Exhale, press through the leg, lifting your heart, lifting your gaze, perhaps soften shoulders back and down. And then bending the knee in, feeling into your hip, your thigh, your spine, your lower back. Great, let's press onto our front of our body now, moving all the way down to the ground, please, taking your pelvis to the ground, your heart and your body resting with your hands over your head. Stretch along and press the palms of the hands together in pranam when you're ready, full body prayer, setting your intention for your practice, and maybe you have a sigh, thanking your body, saying thank you all the way through, and thank you to the earth below. Let's now take our hands underneath our shoulders and we're going to press up through the front of our body, keeping our pelvis and our toes down to the ground. As you exhale, lower again, twice more. Inhale to lift up, engaging the upper arms, the elbows drawing in, shoulder blades back and down. Exhale to lower. One more time, you don't need to lift up too far. It could just be a little bit off the ground if that's best for you. And exhale, lowering down. Let's cross our forearms, crossing one over the other and swaying out your feet in crocodile pose. Have a sigh and soften fully. And then let's take the hands underneath the shoulder area again. We're going to lift up, pressing the ground away, and take one knee to one wrist. So whichever knee you want to go to first. Inhale, look forward and lift your heart, your gaze. Exhale, let's round the back and tilt the pelvis under, tilt your chin to your chest like you're in a cat form. Inhale, looking forward again, lengthen through, lifting your heart, soften shoulders back. Exhale to round. The space between each vertebra and pressing the ground away. Once more. Inhale to lengthen, notice the back toes, and maybe you wriggle that back foot back a bit, tucking the toes under, lengthen again. Exhale to round, drawing lower belly in, widening across the shoulders and tilting your chin to your chest. Inhale to look forward. Let's now sway a little bit all the way over to that hip that is lifted away from the ground and press it down. Move the foot over to the other side of the mat a little bit and then swivel again onto your balance point of both hips being level to yourself and level to the floor. Softening your shoulders as you inhale, lengthening, looking forward and up. And exhale, maybe you lower down a bit more onto your hands, onto your forearms, or fully lowering all the way to the ground. You can always use any blocks if you need to in your practice. You can place them maybe under the forearms to stay a bit lifted, or we can take the block underneath this right hip. If you have a book or a cushion, you can use that instead of a block as well. So choosing what's best. If you want something that's going to stretch your shoulders as well, taking your hands together in the prayer to the back of the head. Feeling into your breath, softening through your body, but keeping the pelvis slightly lifted. So all the muscles of the lower pelvic floor around your pelvis are lifted slightly to engage and build stability and strength. One more breath here. As you inhale to lengthen. Now exhale to soften. Great, let's come up to a high pigeon as we lift our body up again. Tuck the back toes under, move that back foot up the mat a bit so you're shortening the width of your hands to that foot. And then you can either lift up into down dog, shaking the leg up in the air, or just take the left knee to the ground and one knee to the ground and shake the other leg behind you, whichever leg you chose first, shaking that in the air behind. Great, either on tabletop or down dog, have a stretch out with both feet or knees down and have a little wriggle from side to side. And then let's lower all the way down to the ground again, moving through plank if you want to lower that way. Take hands underneath shoulders, lifting up the body again. Take the other knee towards the other wrist now. With an inhale, we lift and lengthen through our body. As you exhale, rounding, draw lower belly in, arching for that cat-cow wave. Inhale to lift up and lengthen again, looking up. Exhale to round, spreading the shoulders, drawing the lower belly in. Feeling into the front of the hip that's extended to the back of the mat straight. And feeling into the hip that is with the knee bent, engaged and strengthening. Great, coming into a flat spine, looking forwards. Let's shuffle onto the hip that was lifted, moving all the way over to that side. Move the foot over a little bit, and then let's level out our hips again for pigeon as you lengthen through. Choosing any blocks again to help you on this side. With an inhale, lifting, and an exhale, lowering down as we did before. Maybe onto our forearms, or maybe stretching all the way down or using the block in any way that you need to. Again, if you want to stretch your shoulders as well, taking the prep to the back of your head, softening your jaw, your face, letting all the tension drop to the ground, keeping that slight lift of your pelvis, noticing the breath moving through. And let's take 3 more big breaths here, please. Big, long, deep, equanimous breaths, maybe sighing out. And as you know, your jaw connects fascia and energetically to your hips and your sacrum. So as we relax our jaw, it helps the whole of our body relax through the muscle tension easing away. Great, coming up onto your hands again into a high pigeon form. Inhale to look forward and lengthen. Exhale, tucking the back toes under, moving that back knee and foot up the mat a bit. And again, either you're shaking out the leg with the knee down, in tabletop, or in down dog as you lift a bit higher and shake a bit more vigorously. Shaking out the energy lines, freeing up. And then let's meet in down dog. As you come to down dog, have a pedal out of your legs. Let the hands be balanced, fingers spread, and thumb tips pressing down. Notice your shoulders lifted, so you're not dropping in the shoulder girdle, but you're lifting up and arching slightly. Noticing the muscles around the shoulders, the armpits, and through the rib cage. And lengthening your spine to your hips as you draw your lower belly in, tilting your pelvis slightly backwards. And as we bend our knees a little bit lower, bending both knees together, you can just take your hips and your pelvis back as far as you can to stretch out your lower back in decompressive spine breath. Having a breath through, noticing the strength. And then let's come forward to plank with an inhale, moving forwards. As you exhale, bend the knees, sending the hips back for down dog. Twice more. Inhale forwards. And maybe you can sense a circling form. As you exhale, take the hips back and up for down dog. One more time. Inhale forwards, lengthening through. And exhale, sending the hips back and up for down dog. Let's take our knees down to the ground, and the knees can be wide or towards each other for child's pose, please. Or rest pose at any time during the class. Turn your palms up to the sky and just notice the backs of the hands to the ground. Trying to equalize the fingers and the thumbs as they move down towards the ground as well. And soften across your shoulders, your face, your jaw. Take a big deep breath, puffing up the back of the body, the lower back, the kidneys, the lungs, the heart. And maybe another breath, sighing out as you drop a bit further to the ground. Great, let's come up onto our hands and knees. Bring the knees underneath your hips and keep your left forearm to the mat. Keep the left palm turned up and the fingers spread. And then we take our right hand and just press on top of the forearm, the most fleshy part, press it down to the ground. So you're weighting down to the ground on that forearm. And hopefully you'll feel a stretch through the upper arm to the outer shoulder. And then move your hand down to the middle of the forearm, press again there and hold there for a moment. And then we'll move our hand all the way to our wrist, press there. And hold there, feel the stretch to the upper arm and the shoulder in a different way. And perhaps you press on top of the palm that's on the ground, turned up, your left palm, and you just feel the stretch to the wrist as you press onto the palm as well with the weight. Great, let's now keep that hand as it is and lean back a bit, taking your head over that left upper arm and just noticing a half child's pose form, stretching out the whole of this arm to the upper arm and the armpit. Then taking yourself up a little bit, move your right hand so it's level with the forearm, elbow of the left arm. And then we'll circle round over this left shoulder and our right wrist, noticing the spiral from one arm to the other, and circle one way and then the other in your own time, please. Circling and freeing up the tension again, easing through. Great, we're now going to turn the palm down to the ground. Take this right hand level again to the left forearm. Tuck the toes under and you either stay there just pressing to the ground, feel your shoulders and the strength of this left shoulder, or lift your knees off the ground for a moment, just hovering there. And the shoulder girdle is not level now, it's unstable, so your left arm and your left shoulder really working hard to accommodate that. Great, let's lower our knees again and then take full child's pose, both hands overhead, just relaxing down through both arms, relaxing your head. Let everything just melt to the ground and soften. Now we'll go to the other side. So we're going to turn our right forearm up to the sky and the right palm up. Spreading the fingers and the thumbs again to be equal on this side, and pressing your hand onto the top part of that forearm to press it down to the ground, weighting it down, pausing there and feeling the sensation on this side. Then taking your hand up the forearm to the mid part, pressing down there. And then the hand to the wrist area, pressing down there again, keeping the fingers and the thumb spread if possible. And then the hand on top of the palm, pressing down the palm. Notice the stretch through different parts of the arm as you're pressing onto one part, stretching the other part. Great, let's lean back, keeping that hand as it is into our half child's pose, head over the right upper arm, shoulder area. The breath through the rib cage and notice the stretch all the way down this right side. Maybe you feel one side more than the other, the tighter side. I feel this side much more. And then we're going to lift up, take the right hand to be level with the forearm or the elbow and start to circle round, keeping the fingers and the thumb spread, noticing the weight loading to this right forearm, right shoulder, and the left wrist as well, and the spiral. Circling one way and then the other, please. Great, let's pause there. Take the hands so it's down to the ground and the palms turned down now. The left hand still level with your forearm and elbow. Tuck the toes under and lift the knees off the ground if that's available to you and you did it on the other side. You can keep the knees down, you can just press down even more to help with your strength as well. And with this slight diagonal again with our shoulders, just checking into your right shoulder, strengthening there. And then let's lower down, taking child's pose with both hands back to your feet, please, softening across your shoulders, your jaw, your face. Great, we're now going to do some front of ankle stretches. So as we're kneeling, we can just rock a little bit back and forwards, which is the most gentle form. Feeling into the front of the ankles, the front of the shins, the knees, and the stretch up through your thighs. If you want to stay in stillness, maybe just leaning back and lifting your heart and your gaze and feeling your shoulder blades drawing towards each other could be an option. Or if you want to make it slightly harder, we'll take our hands forward, lift up our knees and just have a few bounces, and this really stretches out the front line of our legs. all of the fascia and the connection from the front of the feet, the toes, through the front of the ankle, the shins, the knees, the thighs. You'll feel it really strong in your arms as well. And then once you've done that a few times, you'll be feeling it. So let's rest. Let's take our hands forwards into tabletop and circle round our hips, our shoulders a few times, one way and then the other, please. Softening through. Great, let's lower all the way down to the ground. Now we're going to move a bit more dynamically, keeping your hands under your shoulders. With an inhale, press the ground away, lift up. Take your right knee to right wrist. Inhale again, lifting your heart. Exhale to round like that cat motion we did before. Inhale, take the feet back. You can come to plank if you want to, lifting your hips so they're level to the ground and they're not dropped too much. Or keep both knees down. Exhale, lowering all the way down. Keep your hands as they are. Inhale, lift up, taking your left knee to the back of the left wrist. Have a breath there and set yourself up. And then inhale, lift again, looking forwards, lengthen. Exhale to round, drawing your chin to your chest and spreading the fingers. Inhale to look forward, maybe to come to plank, or we take our knees down, and then exhale, lowering down again. Inhale, press the ground away, right knee to right wrist, looking forward and lengthen. Exhale, rounding, drawing your chin to your chest. Inhale, looking forward and lengthening, maybe coming to full plank, or just moving that leg back, or knees can be down. Exhale, let's take our left knee to left wrist, looking forwards with an inhale. Exhale to round, taking chin to chest. Inhale, step it back to the back of the mat, coming to plank. And exhale, let's lower all the way down to the ground. Resting in crocodile, crossing your forearms, please. Swaying out your feet for a few moments. Have a sigh, thanking your body again as you have this softening moment to the ground. And then let's press the ground away, either to half plank, child's pose, plank, or down dog, whatever feels best for you as you move with your breath. And let's meet in down dog. If you need to rest in child's pose a few more breaths, you're really welcome to. And of course, moving into child's pose anytime you need to as well. Any of the planks, the down dogs you want to miss, you're welcome to move into child's pose. Let's move our feet forward now to the front of the mat, walking them all the way forwards. Then have a slight forward fold with the knees softly bent. Maybe you're just bobbing up and down, swaying. Maybe the hands, the forearms are crossed, or you're swaying the hands loose to the ground. Whatever feels the best for you. Maybe you change it a few times, just experience different movements. And as you shrug out your shoulders, easing through the shoulders, both together simultaneously. Softening your jaw and your face, maybe shaking your head yes and no a few times. And then let's slowly come up all the way to standing, rolling up through our spine, coming up to the top. Shrug out your shoulders once you get to the top of your standing, pressing your feet hip distance apart in Tadasana mountain pose. Let's turn our palms forward, soften the shoulders back, lift our heart. As you press all toes down, noticing your legs, engaging up through your thighs, up through the whole of your body to the top. Let's breathe with an inhale, reaching up. Maybe you come up onto your tiptoes as you exhale, arms down to the sides and maybe the heels lower as well. Keep that going. Inhale to lift up, lengthening through. Exhale to lower down with the arms and maybe the heels. Inhale to rise again, reaching up, I'm going to fall. And exhale, softening down. Let's bend our knees and swoop down a bit more with our hands down to the ground. Inhale, reach up and come up with bent knees. Lift the hands to the sides. And as if we're in a squat, a chair form, let's tilt our heart forward like we're really exaggerating the flying winged action from our heart. and send the hips back a little bit. And then we exhale, gather in really, really slowly. Feel the outer arms, the muscles and the tension as you gather in. Inhale, take the palms down to the ground, come up straight through a standing position. Lift your heart, send your hands back behind you. Exhale, take the palms forwards and bend the knees again, lifting the palms in front of you, palms up to the sky. And then inhale, spread the wings out to the sides again, reaching them high. Lift your heart, bend your knees, sink down to your heels and your shins. Exhale, let's gather in, really slowly feeling into your core as well as you draw the lower belly in. Inhale, press the palms down, stand up straight, lift your heart, looking up, press the feet. And then exhale, bend the knees, sending the palms up as you slowly lift them up to be turned up and level to the sky. Inhale, let's one more time, reach out wide as wings, turning the palms to face the front space and lift your heart. Exhale, gathering in, bending the knees as you draw it all in. Inhale, press it down, stand up straight, lift your heart like you're shooting a light beam from your heart to the sky. And exhale, turn the palms up, bend your knees, sinking down again, lifting your palms to your heart and the light up to the sky. Great, let's soften and maybe you shrug out your body, maybe shake out your legs, your arms, your fingers a few times. That can be quite strong, I know. Let's move with some more Qigong movements. Let's take our feet wide and turn the toes out to the sides. Then take one hand to the opposite leg, bending that knee as you circle round. Take the hand over in this big circle 3 times, softening the shoulder back, lifting the heart. And then with the same leg and the knee bent, drop down on the forearm onto that leg. And let's take 3 more big circles round on this side. So it's as if we're in our warrior 2 side angle and circling. Breathing deep. Great. Coming up to the top, to the center. You can turn both feet parallel for a moment for start. Sending out the energy to all your extremities, to the whole of your body, all around your body, your aura, your energy field. And then bend the knees a little bit, turn the toes out again. Let's circle the other arm towards the other leg. Bending that knee and sweeping round, easing out any tension. Well done, everyone. Softening through as well. And then taking your forearm to the thigh as you circle a bit lower. Encouraging a deeper stretch, softening through your shoulder, your rib cage. Breathing it all out. Feeling into your feet, your legs with strength. Coming up to the top again, turning the feet parallel. Let's take our hands to our hips this time. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, hinge your hips backwards. So bend in your knees as you lower down into a forward fold. Hands can be reaching forward, and as you bend your knees, send your hips back a bit more to decompress your lower spine again. Feel the legs strong with your strength. Have a breath here. Inhale to lengthen, looking forwards. Exhale, maybe you fold in a bit more, taking your hands in between your feet, shoulder width apart. One more breath. Inhale to lengthen, lifting up. And exhale to soften, folding in, drawing the lower belly in, drawing your shoulders away from your ears as well. Inhale to a flat back. Looking to one leg, turn that toes out to be facing straight. And let's lift up all the way to a warrior 1 stance. So the other foot is turned in slightly behind you. Your hips are leveling to be facing forwards and the hands are over your head. Let's take 3 bows as you exhale, bowing over this leg. Inhale to rise up again. Exhale to bow in. And inhale to rise. Once more. Exhale to bow, softening your shoulders, keeping your legs strong. Inhale to lift up. Exhale, this time we're going to press the palms forward And lean a little bit forward. Inhale, reach the hands up and straighten the front leg. And we're lifting up to the top. Exhale, press the hands forward, bending the knee and leaning forwards. Feel from the back heel. Inhale, reaching up to the top and looking up. Once more. Exhale, pressing forwards. And inhale, rising up. Keep your hands over your head and let's change the feet to the other side. Taking a warrior one stance on this side. As you exhale, forward fold, bowing forward for humble warrior. Inhale to reach it up again. Feel the back heel and the back glute. Exhale to bow in, drawing lower belly in. Inhale to lift up, feeling the legs and the back glute. Once more. Exhale to bow and soften. Inhale to rise up to the top. Keeping that right knee bent, turn the palms facing forward in front of your heart and leaning forward as you press them away. Inhale, reaching up, straightening the front leg, lifting up. Exhale, take the hands forward again, leaning forward from that back leg. Inhale, reach it up, feeling into the back leg and the inner thigh. And once more, exhale, take it forward, bending the front knee, bring the front leg and the inner thigh. Inhale to reach it high, and let's turn to the center, both feet parallel, hands out to the side for Tadasana star. Again, as we light up all of our body like a light beam and a star bright. Great, then turn your feet out at a diagonal, hands to your knees. We'll drop one shoulder to one opposite knee, come to center, and then go to the other side. A few more times, and then we'll get into our normal flow. Keep that going, stretching out the side body and noticing the motion with fluidity, with flow, with fully embodied breathing as you breathe, with the rhythm of your own natural breath and the depth of your breath flowing through with the movement. One more time each side, please, and ending on the opposite side you didn't start with. And then let's come to a center point. Let's take one more posture here as we keep our knees bent, turn them out a bit more so that they're really working with the toes in the right alignment. They're both turned out the same angle, that the toes are all pointing forwards. We feel the inner legs, the inner thighs working. Taking your hands out to be level with your head, elbows shoulder width and level with your shoulders, elbows shoulder wide. And let's just stay here for a breath, feeling into our power and fierce goddess. Maybe stick out your tongue on your next exhale for Kali, fierce goddess posture, which is often done here with an inhale. And then exhale, you stick out your tongue. Inhale, let's press the ground away. Heel toe your feet towards each other and step them together, interlacing the fingers, index finger pointing up, full body vessel mudra as you shine and light up to the top. I hope you're okay, Rachel. Lengthening to the fingers as you press to your feet. Exhale, hands to your heart. Great. Let's step to the top of our mat for our flow section. We're going to start with tree balance. So maybe you've still got socks on and you're naughty like I am, take them off. And we'll start with our right leg. So I'm sure you're all going to tree, but if you don't, just maybe moving the right inner ankle to the left. So the right ankle to the right heel to the left inner ankle. Maybe you're standing really focused with your gaze forward, which really helps. Or we can hold on to something to the side of us or in front of us as well. And maybe take your foot up the inner seam of the leg to the calf or the inner thigh. Once you get your balance, taking your hands to your heart. Lengthening through from the left standing foot, lifting all the way up to the crown of your head, drawing up through your core and taking this right knee out to the side a little bit more, broadening across your hips. Inhale, let's reach up to the top, lengthening. Exhale, take the right knee forward and the right foot flexed. Taking the foot back as you inhale, just hovering it in space for a moment. Maybe you find warrior 3, toes turned down, stretching through. And then step it back to the back of the mat. Landing the heel if you want to in warrior 1, which is a bit easier. Or you can lift the heel up and turn the back heel to the back for a high lunge style. Either one, let's do these hand motions now. We take our right hand forward, left hand back with an exhale. Inhale, come back up to center. Keep that going. Exhale, turning to the left, looking to the left thumb. And inhale, come back to center. Once more. Exhale, turning, softening shoulders. Inhale, coming back up to center. Exhale, hands down. Let's step back to plank with an inhale, press the ground away. Exhale, lowering through, knees, chest, chin, or full press up, chaturanga. Inhale to rise for cobra, lengthening from your toes to your crown. And exhale, take it back to down dog. Feeling into the stretch from your hands to your shoulders, your hips to your feet. Let's lift our right foot up to the sky, please. Exhale, send the foot forward to the top of the mat between your hands. Left knee can be down or lifted. And then let's keep our left hand down, reach the right hand into a turn for a revolve lunge. And the left knee can be down to soften if you need that. Now let's sweep this right hand around 3 big circles, easing back the shoulder, opening our heart, our rib cage. Maybe the hand just pauses around the back, sweeping it around to open a bit more. Feel the stretch, the outer right hip and through the leg line. Exhale, hands down. Let's step forwards with an inhale. Looking forwards, lift up halfway. Exhale, forward fold, bending your knees as you lower. Inhale, rise up to the top, reaching and looking up. And exhale, hands to your heart. Let's try Tree Bakasana on the other side, moving our left heel to the right inner ankle, maybe to the right inner calf or the inner thigh as you did before. Again, you can hold on to something to the side or in front of you. Hands to your heart when you're ready. Moving that left knee out to the side a bit more, leveling your hips. Noticing your glutes and your pelvis and engaging the muscles there. So lift up. With your pelvis as a trunk of the tree, rooting to your foot and lengthening, lifting up to the crown of your head. Inhale to reach the hands up to the top, taking the left knee forward, flexing the left foot. Exhale, take the foot back. Anywhere in space, it can just be off the ground or hovering level with your body to warrior 3. Turn the toes down, feel the inner thigh. Exhale, press the foot back for warrior 1, heel down, or for high lunge with the heel lifted, naming that heel back slightly more. Inhale, let's reach our hands overhead. Exhale, turn to the side, look to the right thumb as you open your hands out to the right. Inhale, come back up to center. Keep that going. Exhale, turning to the right, looking to the right thumb. Well done. Inhale to rise again. Once more. Exhale to turn, softening shoulders, drawing face. Inhale to reach it up to the top. Exhale, hands down to the ground. Let's step back to plank with an inhale, press the ground away. Exhale, lowering through your vinyasa to weave and connect. Inhale to rise for your back bend, cobra. Lengthening and lifting your heart and gaze, softening the shoulders away from your ears. And exhale, back to down dog. Lengthening through. Have a rest if you need to in child's pose. Breathing with equanimous breath. The balance of your whole body, your breath, with the intention of this balance through your elements of water, earth, fire, air, and space. Breathing with the flow, with the wave of your breath. Inhale, let's lift left foot up to the sky, please. Exhale, draw the knee in, step it forward, top of the mat. Right knee can be down with the right hand down. Let's lift the left hand up as we turn to this side. Maybe the right knee is lifted if you did so last time. And we circle the arm around when we're ready. Sweeping back the shoulder, the rib cage, opening and lengthening. And again, maybe that left hand wraps around the back for the last breath as you turn a bit further up to the sky. Feel the ground and lift up through your spine, through your left outer hip. Exhale, both hands down, stepping forwards again with an inhale, looking forwards, lift up halfway. Exhale, forward fold, draw up through core and shoulders. Inhale, rise to the top, reaching and looking up, and exhale, hands to our hearts. This time we'll try flying eagle as our balance to start with. So we've got a choice to just take this right foot into the tree variation again, the heel to the inner left ankle, and just try that once more. Or we step the right outer ankle on top of the left knee and take the foot a bit higher. Hands out to the sides as you sink back a bit. If you have both feet on the ground, you're kind of doing a bit of a curtsy action, the same with the foot on top of the knee. Lengthening through your spine, feeling into the hips. With an inhale here. Exhale, reach up with your hands up over top. Bending that right knee forwards, flexing the foot again. Inhale to lengthen the hands forward, the foot behind. And exhale, step it back all the way, this time to warrior two. So we open our arms wide as we take our feet a little bit further apart, walking that back foot back a tiny bit and bending this left knee over the left heel. Inhale, let's sweep our hands up, straightening the front leg. Exhale, lowering, looking down the left upper arm, bending that left knee. Keep it going, twice more, 2 more big breaths. Moving with your breath, opening your heart wings and flying into the freeing space of fluidity through you. Inhale to reach it up. And now let's take our right hand down to the side, to your right hip. Move your right foot up the mat a bit, up the mat so it's closer to the other foot. Reach this left hand forward and then down the inseam of the leg for triangle pose, Tadasana. And most people, we kind of aim to go really low and even trying to touch our toe on the ground, but we need to lift up a bit more. So hand just inside the calf and knee area, lean back, and maybe you just keep your right hand as it is, working that right shoulder back, looking up to the right, or maybe you lift the right hand up and reach up as if the right hand is reaching away from the ground, pulling yourself up, stretching through the right side, and also keeping the left side body lifted as well. Both feet engaged equally. One more big breath in triangle Trikonasana. Great, as you exhale next, turn towards the left foot, and either taking this right hand down to the ground on a block, any block form that you like, maybe a high block would be best for most of us. And then we turn around to look to the left, take your left hand to left hip, and we can either stay there for the stretch or lift the left hand up into revolved triangle. That's Trikonasana. Maybe the right hand touches down on the ground as you turn, and maybe the right hand goes to the outer edge of the foot for the final version of the posture to revolve fully. We're trying to revolve our rib cage and lift our heart and gaze. One more breath here. Well done, I know it's hard. And if you have a block, maybe just staying with the right hand to the block, the left hand to your hip to turn and look around if it's hard. Great, let's come back up to the top. Reach the hands wide and settle to warrior two for a moment, please. Feeling into your leg strength in this left hip. Exhale, hands down to the ground. Stepping back to plank through your vinyasa. You can skip it if you want to go straight to down dog or child's pose. Inhale to rise for cobra or up dog, knees off the mat. Exhale back to downward facing dog, lengthening through. Resting if you need to is really nice to rest and enjoy just a few moments before we go to the other side. Feeling into your breath and the breath through the back of the body, sweeping the breath through. Each breath clearing, revitalizing, recharging, releasing. Great, let's inhale, lift our right foot up to the sky, please. Exhale, draw the knee in, step it forward, top of the mat. We now flex the right toes and turn them up. to the sky and just stay there for a moment. Feel the back of this leg line, the back of the calf, the thigh and the hip. Then press the foot down, bend the knee, look forward. Exhale, flex the foot, send the hips back, and you bow over the leg if you want. Inhale to lengthen again, looking forward, bend the knee. Exhale to flex the foot, bowing in. One more time. Inhale to lengthen, looking forward, stretch out the legs. Exhale to bow, lifting the shoulders away from the ears and lower belly in. Inhale to look forwards, let's step forwards, lifting up halfway to the top of the mat. Exhale, forward fold, drawing up through core and shoulders. Inhale to rise up to the top again, reaching and looking up. And exhale, hands to our hearts. Great, let's go to the other side for our flying eagle. Again, you can take this tree variation for your first setup, or the left outer ankle on top of the right knee. We start to bend forwards and the hips move back, bending the standing leg, the right knee, flexing the left foot, feeling the stretch, the glute, the hips, lifting your heart. One more breath here, flying eagle, wings wide. Inhale, come up to standing, reach the hands up overhead, flex the foot and bend the knee. Exhale, take the foot back slowly as you can, briefly through warrior 3 perhaps, or the foot's a bit lower. And then inhale, land it to the back of the mat, warrior 2, as you open both arms, and the right knee is bending, looking to the right big toe, just in front of that right knee. Looking beyond the right fingers, and feeling settled. With an inhale, let's reach the hands overhead, straightening the front knee. Exhale to rebend, looking down that right arm. Inhale to rise, press the ground away. Exhale to rebend, softening your shoulders and jaw. Once more, inhale to lift up, feel your core, drawing lower belly in. Exhale, keep lower belly drawn in and settle. Inhale, let's lift up our hands up above our head again, and then taking the left hand to left hip, move the left foot in a little bit to shorten the stance between the legs, reach the right hand up, and then exhale, reach it forward as far as you can. Really helps before you take it to the inside of the calf, the inner knee. Draw up a little bit, so we're lifting up and keeping this line from the heel to our head of the back foot. And then you can either just stay here, lifting your heart, looking to the left as you draw your left shoulder back, or the left hand lifts up and we're reaching up to those left fingertips again. Pressing from the ground, engaging the legs, drawing up through the thighs and your core and your spine. One more breath. Well done. As you exhale, let's turn towards the left foot now, leveling the hips. Maybe your hand is on that block again, and we're choosing the block height that's suitable for us. Right hand to right hip as you turn to that side and you stay there. We can lower the left hand down and reach the right hand up. Maybe the left hand can cross over the outer edge of the foot for the full variation. We're revolving our rib cage as much as we can. So we're turning through our thoracic spine, our heart, softening shoulders. Well done, everyone. If you're doing your own thing, I don't mind at all. Brilliant, everybody. Well done. One more breath here. Great. As you inhale, coming all the way up to the top, let's settle to warrior 2, winding the legs again. Look down the right hand for a moment. Exhale, take hands down to the ground. Inhale, back to plank. Exhale, lowering through your vinyasa again, elbows in. Inhale to sweep up for cobra, up dog, lengthening through. And exhale, back to down dog or child's pose, rest if you need to. Have a little sway and a pedal out of your feet. And then let's walk the feet all the way again to the top of the mat. Hanging in ragdoll or forward fold. Your hands can be loose or crossing the forearms. Or first 2 fingers and thumbs to your big toes. Bending the knees quite a bit in any of those variations as you draw your shoulders away from your ears and tilt the pelvis backwards. Feel this nice stretch all the way through you, releasing all the back body, sciatica, lower back issues. Breathing deep through the body with thanks, with gratitude, saying thank you. One more breath with an inhale to lengthen and an exhale to fold in. And then let's look forwards. Let's move our feet out to the sides of the mat, bend the knees and settle into a squat momentarily. If it's really hard for you to squat, you can sit down. Otherwise, just sinking through your hips, but keeping them lifted slightly at the same time, feeling the tailbone moving down towards the ground and your crown of head up to the sky. Great, let's take one hand forward and one hand back and gently lower fully to the ground. Take your feet in front of you and move them slightly forward to form a star, a diamond shape with your legs. Tadasana star seed again as you wrap your arms underneath the calves and around the front of the shins. You can just nestle down your shoulders, softening into a folded seed of potentiality, infinite possibilities. And if you could think of what you would like to plant seeds in an area of your life or in all areas of your life, what would you like to plant? Maybe this just summarized in one word, and you can just breathe with this word. A few breaths through the back of your body as you lengthen with an inhale and exhale, soften. Inhale, charging with this word of your positive intention. Exhale, softening, glowing within. One more breath with thanks all the way through you. And the seed within you of creation. Great, let's slowly unravel and come up to a seated position. You can shake out your legs and tap down your hands, down your legs, tap them up and down a few times. Okay, let's start to lower and lift with our core now. We've kind of gone so quick, the time's gone so quick. And as we take our hands forward, we'll start to slow down, rolling as slowly as possible through the back of the body and slightly arching the lower back and the back to round to the mat as you lower down. Maybe you just hover off the ground for a moment more. Relaxing once you get all the way down. Reach your hands over your head. Flex your feet so the toes are pressing up to the sky and the legs are engaged. And then exhale, take the hands forward and start to lift up off the ground, all the way up to the top. As if you could touch your toes or reach over your toes. Inhale to reach up to the sky again. Exhale, hovering through your core and lowering down as slowly as possible. Softening your shoulders, your jaw, your face. Softening to the ground and relaxing, reaching the hands overhead, flexing the toes again, spreading them away from each other, uniting the legs. Inhale, reach the hands forward and slowly peel yourself all the way up to the top. Maybe you forward fold and you just soften fully now over the legs for a moment and a few breaths there. Or you can stay seated if it's a bit too much for you, or stay down on your ground, on your back if you're there and you're relaxing on your back. One more breath in your forward fold, or relaxing in your own way. And then as we inhale, let's reach our hands overhead. Exhale, take the hands forward and slowly lower down your body once again, all the way to the ground this time. Let's hug our knees in and rock from side to side. And then let's move both knees over to the left side. Right hand away from your body, shoulder height, elbow bent, possibly in palm turned up. And we gaze to the right, softening our right shoulder. Maybe the left hand is moving the top leg over you a bit more to encourage the stretch. Or this left hand can move to your right hip and compress the hip away from you, as if you're pressing it up the mat to encourage a deeper, nicer stretch through the fascia, through all the connections, softening your right shoulder. And breathing deep through this right lung, puffing the rib cage out to the side for a breath. Maybe sighing out as you exhale. And then you can just relax for a few more breaths just as you are here. Or to make it slightly harder, quite a lot harder actually, we're going to take our right hand to the left foot that's underneath you. Find that hand. And maybe the right knee is still over to the left. And you're just moving the right shoulder to the ground and staying there in a mermaid form. Or we can take the left hand to the right foot that's across you and straighten that out to the side. So it opens out to the side and you get a full big stretch through that leg once more. In any form that's best for you. Maybe the left leg is straight to the top of the mat and the right leg is over, straight out to the side. Great, let's come back onto our back and have a sway from side to side just to reset and to neutralize. And once you've had a nice massage with both hips, let's move both knees over to the right, settle them there, the left hand away from the body, shoulder height. Maybe the elbow is bent at shoulder height, palm facing up. We turn to the left again. Again, you can use that right hand on the right thigh to weight the leg over, or the right hand pressing the left hip down a little bit away from you to stretch out through this side. Breathing. Noticing this left lung filling up, the left rib cage expanding, the left shoulder softening. And as you gaze to the left, just stretch through your face and your throat. And again, staying here for another few breaths. Or to make it harder, we can take the left hand to the bottom foot that's underneath the right foot and catch it there. And then the right hand to your left foot and you move with this kind of bow and arrow shape or a leaping shape into sleeping mermaid. Softening your shoulders, softening through, softening your jaw. One more big breath. Great, and then slowly coming back to a centered point. Let's take our feet to the ground, just in front of our hips. Lift your heels off the ground so you're on your toe tips, and then just slightly hover your hips off the ground. You can even take your hands underneath your hips and rest your hips there if you need that. And then we'll press our heels down and lift the heels up a few times. So maybe your hips are hovering, working on the strength of your pelvis and your core as you lift your heels up and down a few more times. Or maybe your hands are just resting with the hips and the hips are resting as you lift and lower the heels. One more time. Great, and now let's lift our pelvis off the ground for bridge, pressing to the feet, feel the front of the thighs, the front of the body, feel your glutes active, and as you press up from the hips, really engaging the glutes. You can start to lower with your breath as you exhale, lowering down, rounding the lower back to the back and lower belly drawing in. Inhale to press up again. We'll stay in stillness for 3 more breaths. And if you're lowering and moving with your breath, or you're staying lifted, could maybe choose a hand variation where your hands are over your head, and it changes the stretch slightly and makes the movement more into a wave. Or if you're staying in your still bridge, and interlacing your fingers underneath you, lifting your hips as you press the feet. Maybe you lift your heels off the ground again in any of those forms.
Noticing your quads, the thighs, your glutes working with your back strength. And then as you lower down slowly to the ground, lowering each section of your spine from your mid-spine to lower spine to hips last. Let's sway our knees side to side a few times, just easing that through. If you'd like to take one more bridge, you're really welcome to take it. Or we're just going to hug our knees in and relax and have a nice massage for our shoulders, for our spine, for our back, down to our hips. And when you're ready to hug your knees in, let's hug our head to our knees as well. Just seal that into a ball. Let's see it again. We're ready for Shavasana, relaxation. Any stretch that you'd like to do before you relax, you're really welcome to do it. And when you choose to relax, just taking your hands out to the sides, palms turned up, away from the body, and the legs long and relaxed to the sides as well. Or you can have one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly, or both hands to your heart or your belly. Maybe if there's any tightness in your lower back, you take restorative rest. Inner knees are pressed together and the knees are bent, and the feet are a bit wider than hip distance apart. So you move them out, and this internally rotates the top of the femur bones, the thigh bones, and helps a bit of a reset in the pelvis for restorative rest. So wherever you are, whatever's best for you, as you choose your position to fully relax and receive all of those movements, all of your practice, allowing your breath to be soft. And as you breathe deep through your body with a soft inner caress, allowing love and peace to stream all the way through you, inviting this love and peace to every part of you. Softening with the love from your heart streaming through you. And sending this out to your family and friends, out to the world.
As you rest for a few more moments, sending healing to any part of your body that's needed. I read a quote by Kahil Gibran, a Sufi poet. The appearance of things changes according to your emotions, and thus we see magic and beauty in life when we are happy, while the magic and beauty are really inside ourselves. As you lie in stillness for a few more moments, maybe you can ponder how your mind creates your life and your experience, and whether you're choosing it to be pleasurable or painful from the way that your own thoughts, your own patterns in your mind are creating and steering you. If we choose to just reframe these, to reset these, to realign with our truth, choosing to believe and trust in our own inner magic and the magic that's all around us, with positivity, noticing how you can give yourself this intention, this blessing, to acknowledge, to forgive, to say thank you. Now to choose a new way, a different way, or a slightly better way for you to move forward. As you lie for a few more moments, you can start to wriggle your fingers, your thumbs, having a stretch through in any way that you like. And as you come to seated, let's take our hands to our heart, pressing the palms together. And this prayer symbol form gesture as a thank you and as an intention, as a kind of a promise and a prayer and an acknowledgement all in one to our own balance and our own body of our heart and our mind, balancing with our awareness, with our breath, with our movement and our connection to ourselves and to all. As you bow to your heart, your inner teacher, bowing to the light within you and the light of all, as we bow to each other, honouring this light within each other and in all. Namaste.